Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Transformers 84, issue number 0 from IDW Comics. The year is 84. This is basically supposed to go back to the original Marvel run of Transformers and talk about what happened right before. Of course, the what happened right before really only makes sense if you read the IDW universe and all the crazy stuff that they're doing anyway, including the bold new era that they're doing right now. Does this comic book work? Well, kind of. Anyway, let's get talking about who made this comic book, and then we'll talk about the book itself. So, we got writer Simon Furman, artist Guido Guidi. Okay, I hope that's what it says. Colorist Jean-Paul Bove. Okay, this print is ridiculous, but I can always tell Tom B. Long as the letterer anywhere. Anyway, yeah, this print is just really freaking ridiculous. I can't read any of this stuff. Too much crazy stuff going on. Anyhow, so we get a little introduction, and we get the idea that the Transformers, well, at least Optimus Prime, more than anything else, had an ulterior motive. Look, well, basically just the idea, like, here's the thing. One of the things that this comic book does right. If you guys read, and I'm trying to remember which issues it was, but the Transformers in Europe, because there was Marvel Transformers had a regular comic book in America and another one over in the UK, and they were vastly different comic books. There was even one time where two of those issues essentially came over to America. Therefore, anybody who read the Marvel Transformers definitely knows of those two stories, if not some of the other ones also. I was not able to get my hands on all of the Transformers UK stuff. I didn't know where to go to get that stuff, but I did have a friend who had that stuff, and in our downtime, I got to read a bunch of those, which was awesome, but I did not read even half of them, which still bums me out to this day. That being said, this comic book is actually able to rectify a few of those stories, actually give a little bit of a prequel to both stories, the UK Transformers and the American Transformers. What it also does, unfortunately, is it really just exemplifies what already what the IDW verse is basically doing. I mean, I get it. I really do. I get it. This is the IDW Transformers, and they have to try and emphasize, their own storylines. The idea that Optimus Prime, isn't perfect, that he's actually made some big mistakes in his time as the Autobot leader. We've seen him make mistakes before. We've seen him make bad calls. We've seen a couple things like that. We've seen him just be really freaking wrong about some things before in the old Marvel Transformers. Here's the thing. Me personally, just straightforward, I am a huge fan of the Marvel Transformers universe. I've read everything that they've done, in some regards, more than once. I still want to recollect my entire collection of the Transformers after I lost them all. But, man, all that being said, the Marvel Transformers to me was superior to the IDW Transformers run. Look, that's not to say that IDW hasn't had some amazing moments, but sorry. So when this goes back to try and make the Marvel version of Optimus Prime different from the Marvel Optimus Prime, it basically just makes him, a scumbag. Because he had some dark secrets that it turns out he's been leading the Autobots to do certain things that otherwise, they really shouldn't have been doing, because they were doing it under his orders, and he's the only one who knew, well, for the most part, that he was just doing. He had, basically, this is the road to hell is paved with good intentions kind of story. But when you keep these kinds of secrets, it does not paint you, nor will it ever paint you, in a positive light. This was not my Optimus Prime, as far as I'm concerned. While Prime in all the other versions of media may have had Optimus Prime not being as effective as he should have been, none made him struggle more than the comics, in my opinion. I would take the comics over the Marvel comics over the G1 or Beast Wars or any of the versions on TV or in the movies even of the Transformers. Yeah, that includes the original 86 movie. So this, trying to make it more like that, I get what they're doing, but I don't approve. Now, what I think would have been interesting is if issue 0 would have addressed what wasn't addressed before, and that is how the Dinobots got to Earth, how the Dinobots were created on Earth, what they actually originally came from, and the reign of Shockwave. That, I think, would have been a better story, because now you're not really messing with a whole lot. Now we can actually find out more about the Dinobots and a little bit more about the original mission that Shockwave went on. That I think would have been an easier one to do, and it wouldn't have messed with anything the way that this one kind of did. I don't know. It's like a way of just, it sounds weird, but it's a way of kind of tainting all that came before. Granted, if you didn't care, if you don't have any nostalgia, or you just hated the original Marvel Transformers comics, then you much prefer the IDW, you're going to love this book. But this is my channel. This is my opinion. My opinion is I didn't like this. I just didn't. There are a couple of really cool parts. It really emphasized the threat of Megatron. I love this cover because I will always love the dark helmeted Megatron over the silver helmeted one. But yes, and still can't wait for this. The Constructicon's coming out pretty soon in that new Transformers comic book. But yeah, just my opinion stands on this one. Is what it is. Sorry, fanboy the original Marvel Transformers. Anyway, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.